Welcome to another episode of Paychecks and Playbooks, a show focused on changing the narrative around pro athletes and their money, one playbook at a time. I'm your co-host, Darnell Smith. I'm here with my brother, the founder of the Players Company, Sheldon Day. And today we got a very, very special guest, former Cowboys fullback, who's now transitioned, working in the world of finance and money at a family office, man, in Dallas. The one and only Nick Ralston. Welcome to Paychecks and Playbooks, my guy. How you doing?
Doing well, man, and appreciate y'all having me on. And Sheldon, really like what you're doing with the Players Company. I think, you know, a lot more of that is needed in the league, and yeah, just appreciate y'all inviting me on.
Man, we happy for you to be here. But first of all, we gotta check out that background, man. I hopped on. I said, "Ain't no way. This got to be virtual. It's not real life, man." Tell us where you are right now and kind of explain your background.
Yeah, yeah, this is Dallas Cowboys HQ. It's the Star. It's in Frisco, Texas. It's an incredible asset that the Jones family and Cowboys have built. That's actually Dr. Pepper's headquarters.
Really?
Yeah, it's this is a unique setup. Like, everything that the Cowboys do, it's first class, it's world class, it's the Cowboys way. And this is a unique model that they built where, you've got the practice facility and all these other businesses and buildings around it. And when I was a player, I was really able to leverage that to really change my life. But to give a quick background, I actually grew up here in a small town named Argyle. Um, played running back in high school, had one offer, went to Arizona State, played 4 years there. Didn't get the traction, on the field that I thought I would get, and was really focused on school, 4.0 finance kid. Ended up transferring to Louisiana Lafayette my 5th year and had a really good season there. Going into 2020 was my pro day. COVID hit. They canceled my pro day. They shut down gyms. I didn't get an opportunity to get into training camp, and yeah, I actually moved up to New York. Got a job at a commercial real estate firm. For about a week. I followed a girl up there. She dumped me. Came back home. Kept training for another year. By myself in Austin, Texas, where my parents had moved down. Went through a pro day in 2021. Yeah, got picked up by the Cowboys, and just had a good OTAs and training camp, and balled out in the preseason on special teams, and ended up making the roster on and off the practice squad, and played in 4 games that year, and was very aggressive with networking in the off season, and made a ton of incredible relationships that essentially changed my life. But going into year 2, got cut the second day of training camp. Had an injury at receiver, and with the 90-man roster limit, I was kind of the obvious logical cut. But yeah, about 6 months after that, ended up getting hired here at Blue Star Innovation Partners, which started out as the combined family office between Jerry Jones and a guy named Rob Wexler, who was a serial payments entrepreneur, president of Chase Payment Tech in the early 2000s. Built and sold a couple payments businesses that he sold to WorldPay, made a ton of money. They locked him out of that space in some hardcore non-competes, and started spending a lot of time with his kids, and noticed that the youth sports experience was terrible. So he actually partnered with Jerry Jones, and they acquired 26 companies over the course of 10 months and sold the business for $300 million after 18 months of work. And yeah, so at that point, Jerry and Rob combined their family office, and then probably over the past 7 years, 6 7 years, they built out more of a traditional private equity firm focused on vertical SaaS and payments, and I got looped into that world. That's a long story that man, we probably can't even dive into it because it's just so long. But yeah, that led to kind of where I am today, and through the sports grapevine, got connected to you guys, and excited for this discussion today.
Man, no, shout out to you.
I know
man.
that was a lot.
Nah, that's beautiful though. We appreciate you for kind of giving us that full scope, man, and for all the listeners that they're able to get straight to it and learn exactly like who you are, your background, how it happened. So now we appreciate that. I want to rewind a little bit to earlier part of your story, just
Yeah.
the football part first. Want
Yeah.
to stay on that for a hot second before we move on to what you're doing now. You mentioned, like, I mean, you were getting drafted or going through the process of getting drafted at a unique time where, like you said, I mean, we've never seen before. You know, COVID,
Yeah.
pro day gets canceled. Like you said you moved to New York, was following a girl at the time. That didn't go the right direction at
Hey,
that
let me tell you,
moment.
it worked out. I ended up meeting my wife with my time at the Cowboys, having an
Right.
incredible son that turns 1 on Monday. We got a
Happy
huge birthday
birthday.
party, so everything worked out the way it was supposed
Everything
to
happens for a
be.
reason, Nick.
Yeah, so she's incredible. Her name's Tatum. I'm so blessed. She's a wonderful mother. Like I won.
Yeah,
So
I love it. I love it. My question around all that was this, I
yeah,
guess, in that moment, more so on the football side of things, what was it that kept you, I guess, believing and like wanting to like continue the journey? Because I know some cats they get to that point, pro day get canceled, things ain't working out, you go undrafted, they might just give up. But something
yeah,
told you, like, you know what, let me keep going, and obviously it paid off and lets everything else.
yeah. Two things in particular. One, my parents, my dad. He had my back the entire time. So much support, so much money going into training. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And my faith. I think that was another big component that I knew there had to be a reason for the trials and tribulations. And sometimes you just gotta push through that darkness. But the combination of my father, my family, having that infrastructure to fall back on, that support, and my faith. Because yeah, I mean, by the time I got home from New York, I mean, I didn't have a job, didn't really have friends. It was quarantine. I could either try to transition and do some other job and quit, or uh, just train, because I knew that I was going to have an opportunity to get in front of some scouts at a pro day in that following March. So 8, 9 months. And so kind of two decisions. I doubled down on the football side of things, trained 4 or 5 hours a day for, it seemed like, 8 months straight, and just put in a ton of work and was totally prepared when I had my shot at pro day, and I crushed it. Several scouts were there. Cowboys really liked me, and it just ended up working out. But like a lot of guys don't have that support from their family, and I gotta say, without my dad, you know, getting me up and giving me that encouragement, I wouldn't be here today. So I mean, everything happens for a reason, but it was oftentimes, I mean, y'all know it's not logical to go through the pain and emotional torment that we go through, in sports. But if you keep pushing through, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes you get that breakthrough, and that's just what happened to me.
Love it. Love it, man.
That's so dope. I know you mentioned playing for Dallas and being in Dallas now. Can you kind of walk us through that experience of your first time meeting Jerry Jones, what it meant to play
Yeah,
for the Stars, and then kind of your experience just being a Dallas Cowboy? Everybody say it's America's team.
yeah,
That's give or take. That's give or take. But
yeah,
how was your experience playing for America's team?
yeah. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are the world's most, valuable franchise. I'm a Dallas kid, so coming home to your hometown team was super special. Um, I mean, it was pretty surreal getting a call from my agent saying I'm going to Dallas. But yeah, I mean, I show up, and I mean, I've been watching guys like Dak and Zeke, on TV for 4 or 5 years at that point, and getting in that locker room, seeing those guys, becoming friends with them. That was surreal to just realize that they're normal people. Uh, I mean, it was an incredible experience seeing how professional some guys are, the vets that have been there for so long, the preparation that they do, before a game. Soaked all that in, and just applied those principles, you know, during that season, during the off season, and it ended up just working out for me. But like, Cowboys are world class. They do things the Cowboys way. It's a totally, you know, different experience, and it's just incredible, what the Jones family has built, the brand, the team, culture in the locker room was great. Dak would talk to the lowest guy on the team,
Mm.
and make friends with them. And I know that's not the case for every team, but a lot of people hate the Cowboys, but I mean, I had a really good experience, and fortunately, I'm still super close to the facility, the players, front office, everybody. So it worked out for me, but I can't say that 99.99% of guys, it doesn't. But that's why you just got to be proactive while you're playing to set yourself up for life after football,
I
because it
love it.
comes fast.
I love it. Let me ask you this: so, if you had to pick like a one moment, that during that rookie year or whatever, when you first got picked up, people always ask like, what was your welcome to the league moment? Like, what was that experience like? Whether it was good or bad. Some people say,
Yeah.
hey, I was at practice and I got blown up, by so and so. And on the other side, sometimes it's just simply like I shook hands with Jerry Jones. Like, what was that moment for you where you were like, damn, I'm a Cowboy,
Yeah. Definitely in the preseason, why I made the team is because we had a lot of injuries early in training camp to the, you know, second and third, team guys. And so I get thrown in special teams as like the lowest guy on the roster. Like, in the second preseason game, like the first time on kickoff, like I just go down and I make the tackle just like instinctively. And then the next time I'm on kickoff, like they try to double team me, I get the guy off and I just blow up the returner, which was
Mm.
my college running back, Benjamin for the Cardinals.
Oh,
And so just blew him up and I'm crawling like a dog over him just to this, yeah, over the sideline, and they're going crazy. And then I just ball out that game. And, there's obviously a confidence thing that I think you get when you make plays like that in the league. And, that was probably my welcome to the NFL. It was a good thing. I ended up doing well in other preseason games, and then ended up making the practice squad, and then played in 4 games that year, and on and off the practice squad. But yeah, I would say my first game, another welcome to the NFL. It was Philly, Monday Night Football.
Woo!
Mhm.
Had more injuries, so like they could call up guys from the practice squad, and yeah, I just get to play in the Philly game. It's a lot of just special teams and make a tackle. Yeah, I mean it happens so fast. Everything is so hard. But definitely those preseason games versus the Cardinals, and then Philly was just surreal. It's yeah. I mean, fortunately, I never got like blown up. I would blow up other people. I
Okay,
just wasn't
okay,
the
yeah.
fastest guy on the team, but yeah, man, like the NFL is dangerous. And if you don't, bust your butt every single play, like, there's some serious injuries, and your life is on the line, so you always got to keep your head on a swivel. But yeah,
Man, that's real. That's real,
Man,
Chef.
really is rough though. Like memories just coming back. Like, damn, my rookie year was so long, and it's
yeah,
just, I swear it's like the longest year of your life. It's like you go straight from your bowl game, then you go in combine prep, then it's right to OTA season. It's just like it's the longest year of your life, and man, it's just, I feel like it's getting longer for these kids too. It's like the college season gets longer and longer. I feel like OTAs comes at you so quick. The draft is happening
yeah.
faster. Combines happening faster. You got Senior Bowl, all these games. It's just like there's no time to just kind of relax a little bit. It's like go, go, go. So shout out to all those rookies this year that just got drafted, man. I know this is gonna be the longest year of your life, but you got it. But I do have another question about rookie year. So
Yeah.
I know my rookie dinner experience was terrible. I still feel like I didn't get my get back enough with all these upcoming rookies. Everybody's complaining, talking about I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do this. What was I guess a rookie duty that you hated, and did you have a rookie dinner that was super expensive?
Um, all the guys were pretty. I heard horror stories, and I was kind of worried about it. I would have
Share
done.
one, share one.
I would have done anything to make the team, but I heard about a guy. I forgot who it was, and I don't know if it was with the Cowboys, but they like taped him to the goalpost. Um, I don't know who that was and if you've heard that before, but
Yeah.
there's stuff like that. I mean, there's carrying a bunch of helmets. There's shaving people's head. We didn't have really any of that. Maybe I carried, Zeke and Tony Pollard's helmet. I mean, it was a good experience for me. And in terms of like the rookie dinner, yeah, that was a fun night. That was wild. That was at Nick and Sam's down in Dallas, and don't know who paid for it. I mean, I didn't have much money, but
He said,
you know,
he said, I don't know who paid for it, but it wasn't me.
no, it wasn't me. But yeah, I mean, I heard a lot about that night. I went to bed early, and I heard it was a very expensive dinner. So, in the tens of thousands. So,
Ooh. So just for clarity, hold on real quick. So the way they did your rookie dinner, they basically, because again, I played college ball. I didn't play in the league, so I'm trying to learn for myself too.
yeah,
So they brought like your whole entire like rookie class all in. Was it just your position group? Like
it was like an entire team. Like
oh
we had a whole, and the rookies were all there, and I think a lot of the rookies paid for it, and a lot of the vets that had a lot of money. I mean, I don't think anybody walked away losing like 10 bands or anything, but like it was very expensive. It was first class. We had our own private section at Nick and Sam's down in Dallas, which is a incredible, steakhouse. And then, yeah, I mean, there was some extracurricular activities, I think, but I went to bed.
I noticed you keep saying that you went to bed early. You're being very specific when you said Nick went to bed early. I don't know what the rest of the team did.
I don't know what they did either. You'll have to go ask them. But yeah, it obviously you hear these stories in the NFL and they're all wild. And these guys have so much money and so much access to whatever. So but yeah, I think everybody walked away from our rookie team because it was during a bye week. So, a lot of guys were just relaxed. So it was good. It was good. But yeah, I've heard some nightmares. What about you, Sheldon? What was your rookie dinner like?
So we had 4 D linemen drafted my rookie year. So they thought it would be a cool idea to just kind of run it up. Everybody ordered steak to go. King Louis. Still have not had it since that day. Just the most expensive for no reason. I ended up thinking we paid. So I was drafted with Yannick Ngakoue. It was me. We had a 6th-round pick, Tyrone, and a 7th-round pick, Jonathan Woodard, and we all somehow ended up paying for it. And I think everybody, I think Yannick paid the most at right at 7. I was second at 5. Tyrone and Jonathan paid X amount. Yeah, it was a good time, really good time. So luckily we had 4. I couldn't imagine if it was one of us because 15,000. We went to Roof Chris, so it's not. I guess Roof Chris is pretty good, but not like the 48 level or the Astros level. So I just couldn't imagine if we actually went there, it would have been.
Yeah, Mastros is good, man. We had that. We had several of those out in Arizona when I was at Arizona.
It's out here
State,
in LA too. That butter cake.
Oh my! Nobody knows unless they have it. Like it is.
Nobody knows.
And nobody else's butter cake is that good.
Nobody's.
I'll get fired up when I see it on other people's menu, and then it's always a letdown.
Thank you.
I haven't even been. I haven't been in so long.
I've had some good butter cakes, but it's never to that level, though. It's never to that level.
Yeah.
Nope.
Man, I might go tonight. Oh man. Rewind a little bit here. You mentioned, about players make so much money in the league, right? I want to ask you, like, when you got your first NFL check, whatever that amount was, man, what was your reaction? Number one, but then number two, what did you do with it?
First reaction was, dang, they take out a lot in taxes. And two, I put it in the bank. I was fortunate to save, quite a bit of money while I played, but I think crypto was going crazy at that time, so maybe I bought some crypto thinking it was gonna, go to $1 million or something. But
Ethereum or Bitcoin?
I bought both. I got to diversify.
Okay.
But yeah, like it. I was fortunate. A lot of guys, during that time, when crypto was, at its peak, they had put like, a game check in there, or like,
Mm,
a lot, even the practice squad guys. And, as that market really got hit hard and, tanked quite a bit. But, yeah, I mean, like you're just giving so much money, whether it's tens of thousands or it's, millions. I know guys that were making, 250 grand after taxes. I know guys that were making millions after taxes each game. And, the NFL had extended the payout period from, 17 weeks to, 34, or whatever it is, to kind of help guys hang on to money a little bit more. Which I wanted that money up front, but, um, yeah, like it's tough, especially if you don't have, a good financial advisor, a good team around you, because you're just dumped so much money. And a lot of these guys, have an entourage or a posse or, whoever around them, that, all want a piece of it. And it's just, we got to do a better job of, building financial literacy. I mean, all the stuff that y'all are doing at the Players Company, I think is exactly what's needed. And there's a big gap in the market around business investing, pro athletes, and guys got to be proactive with building, a skill set, outside of football, while they're playing. But at the end of the day, you got to keep the main thing, and that's perfecting your, football craft. But,
mm.
yeah, you're an opportunity to create generational wealth and change the trajectory of your family forever if you do things the right way. And I've seen guys follow that model, and, there just needs to be more examples of, that for the young cats to, come up and follow.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, and that's why we created Players Company, to really kind of change that narrative surrounding athletes. Like, if I ever hear somebody call athlete a dumb money again, I feel like I failed at this
Yeah.
company and at life, because that was probably the most disrespectful thing that I've ever heard an athlete be called. So really trying to
Yeah.
change the narrative for sure. So speaking of financial literacy, what's probably the biggest mistake that you've seen somebody make with their money? So whether that be a bad investment,
Yeah. I mean, the number one thing is you just gotta save your money. If you just, I know people want to invest it and they want to, put their capital to work, but like these guys need to be saving, you know, 70, 80% of their money. I mean, you got your kind of core living expenses that are kind of fixed, but man, just save your money, and there's going to be a time to invest it, but build your financial literacy, surround yourself with the right team, find, business mentors and leaders. They all want to be around athletes, but you got to be proactive with seeking that out, because, these are busy guys and girls. So number one thing for me, I think, is just, save your money and, you know, get involved with stuff like the Players Company, where, it's not only an educational financial literacy thing, but you're getting access to these, executives and business leaders who've, you know, built billion-dollar businesses.
For sure. One thing you mentioned was building the right team. What advice do you have when it comes to actually building the right team? Because you often hear these horror stories, if you will, of
Yeah.
like, I hired the wrong financial advisor, and you hear, some of them, stealing money from players, or the player just doesn't have that financial background because of how they grew up, and they're
Yeah.
just putting all their trust into this one person, and behind the scenes, he's out here making bad choices and investments with your money. Like, I guess, what's the process, if any, when it comes to choosing that right team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like just pro sports in general, there's pretty high walls around, getting access to players, and there's a bunch of, third parties that circle around these guys, whether they're agents, whether they're, marketing people, whether they're financial advisors, and, a lot of times the agencies work with certain financial advisors, and so there's that like referral basis where they can transfer that trust. Some guys, it's the, guy that you grew up with, or a friend, or a player that you had in college. They make that referral. But I mean, it's tough because, there's just a lot of scam artists out there. There's a lot of sharks that take advantage of players.
Yeah.
You know, you got to focus on football. But there just needs to be, I don't know, a more of a community out there that, wants to take care of these players, for everything off the field. I think a lot of these agencies, probably brand themselves as a one-stop shop, and it takes care of all the different aspects from your agency, your marketing, your legal, your um, wealth. So I mean, it's tough because there's a huge gap there, and that's why you're seeing some groups, start to build family offices around these players where it's honestly former athletes that are building these platforms. And I think it's just going to take a whole lot of platforms like that, and just good examples of those guys doing the right thing. But yeah, I mean, I always try to vet people out, try to get a ton of feedback and referrals from former teammates and current teammates, and be proactive, and always have your antennas up. And some people you can trust. um some people speak in such high language, they try to confuse guys, and so they
Right.
sound super smart. I mean, I've seen it all, and I know, it just really comes down to trust, and just finding people that you trust and having them try to send you guys, or send them the right people. But it's tough, because you're focused on football. And I mean, I've been just so surprised with just what has happened, and just how people get access, they take advantage. So yeah, just find people that you trust, and do it. Find multiple people that can give you really good referrals. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a gap in the market there. I mean, I'm sure y'all have seen a ton of horror stories.
Yeah, which is so sad. And I guess, like, speaking of family offices, I know you've now transitioned to Blue Innovation Partners. And can you kind of walk us through what you do specifically at Blue Innovation? And also, like, if I'm a player and I'm like, hey, I want to create my own family office, like, what that process look like?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely evolved like over the years. I mean, originally, it was Rob and Jerry's Capital. They co-invest with other private equity firms, and Rob and his crew would run the go-to-market strategy and the payment strategy. Over time, it's transitioned from Rob and Jerry's family office to a full-fledged private equity firm, where we have an operations team that's all former founders that had 9, 10 figure exits, that have deep functional expertise in various areas. And we look to partner with these founder-led businesses that have built next generation platforms. We partner with them and help them scale through kind of that growth stage. Specifically, my role is more on the deal sourcing, deal origination side of the house, where I'm finding these opportunities, validating them, and bringing them to Blue Star, for potential, investment. So a lot of it is just building relationships, getting in front of, founders and CEOs, doing a lot of market research, doing a lot of market mapping. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible just seeing that side of the house. Football is extremely complex. I think it's a lot more complex than business. It's just a different language when you get into the business world. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of success in the short time that I've been here, and that's just all credit to the players and coaches that I've you know played and were coached by in my past. NFL teaches you so much. You just got to learn how to fine tune that in business, and just be a pro, and just prepare the right way. But some you know family office is a broad term, but a lot of guys, if they want to build their own family office, you need people that can, due diligence on deals. You need your legal guy. You need whatever third parties to help you, facilitate a transaction. And you got to find people that you trust. But it's definitely building that team of people that all have, different skill sets. And yeah, I mean, I've seen people make a ton of money while they're playing, just making incredible investments, off the field. But it goes back to having that team. It's all team.
Yeah. I love that, man. One thing I wanted to ask you too before we kind of move on to like our final segment here is
Yeah.
the transition piece, right? Is, one thing you always hear about athletes is like what's next, and they don't know what is next. Like you've been locked in on football for so long, or basketball, whatever your sport is, that's really the only thing you've had time to fully put your attention to. So now your career ends after 3 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be, and now you're trying to figure out what's next. With you came in with a mindset from like day one, like, hey, I got this opportunity on the field. It's a blessing, but while I'm here, I'm going to make the most out of every resource. You were networking, you were meeting people. Like, just talk about like your transition. It seemed like it was a pretty seamless one in your example, but I know it's not always like that in every case.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird transition period, that COVID period. So during that time period, thought I might go to law school, took the LSAT, I got my real estate license. So I had that in my back pocket. And then going into the off season, I'm like, there's a lot of guys, being traded or leaving or buying or selling real estate. So I actually started doing real estate transactions for the guys on the residential side, and that evolved into wanting to raise a fund for the players to deploy in real estate or VC or whatever alternative asset class, because they kept coming up to me because, like I said, they're sitting on so much money and they really don't have access to kind of alternative investments. I mean, they've got their, financial advisor that, allocates their money in a certain percentage, which they should do, like, 89% of the money they have. But there's a certain money, I think, that they can make strategic investments that, have outsized returns. And yeah, that conversation just, evolved, and it led to conversations within the facility, and just the broader, just Jones Cowboys empire that eventually led to me being introduced to Rob Wexler, who runs, Blue Star Innovation Partners. And yeah, like I could see the writing on the wall. I mean, average career is like, what is it? Is it 3 years?
Yeah,
A
Half
year?
3 years, I think. Yeah,
I think it might be 2.7 years or something like that. It's right
Yeah.
at 3.
Mine was about 1.1, and so I could see that, and I just knew the position I was in, and somehow leveraged it. It's all about relationships, and your network is your net worth. And I met Rob in July of 2022, and there's a whole in between period till about March of 2023 when I got hired full time, and that's a whole nother discussion. That was a lot of, at one point I was knocking doors in Highland Park, which is a wealthy part of Dallas. I would go look up, who was paying, 10,000 plus in rent, because there was a limited supply of homes. And so if I could find a renter who was looking to buy, I would tell them that I was doing a bunch of off market deals, picked up some buyers like that, and just knocking on doors saying, hey, I do notice that you're, renting. I've got a bunch of, off market properties. Would you be looking to, buy one of them? And that just getting after that networking, that, just finding a way, just led to just understanding how to find deals. And it led to an opportunity with Blue Star. And yeah, so I've always been entrepreneurial. Like I was selling shoes in college on eBay. I go buy them at Ross and Burlington in the Nike store. Sold like $100,000 worth of just shoes just out of my garage.
Stop playing.
Just hustling. Yeah. I've just always been like that, because football's so hard. You always want like an outlet. And I never played video games. Mine was about, business and making money. And
I wish I knew you in college, man. Damn, $100,000 from shoes. I was out here fucking playing 2K and man, I should have been selling shoes at Ball State. Golly, Nick.
Yeah, it's and now it's like, we're it's the same thing. We're just, buying these companies for tens of millions and selling for hundreds of millions to $1 billion. Like it's crazy. It's monopoly.
Yeah.
But everything, just incredibly blessed to be, put in the position I was in, with that mindset. I have an incredible family. My dad's 9 miles down a dirt road, PhD now, played basketball in college, was a millionaire just by hard work. My mom, an accountant. I had all the right infrastructure. And it's just about, you know, just doing more, growing, always having that growth mindset, surrounding yourself, with the right people. Like my wife is the most incredible human I've ever met, the most incredible, mother, lover, just amazing human being. In all the areas that I'm weak, she fills all those and makes me better. And our kid he's incredible. And I couldn't, because it was tough, like getting cut with football, she was a backbone and wouldn't be where I am without her, without my family, without her family. And, just incredibly blessed to be in the spot that I am because it's just the beginning and I'm just now starting to see, the matrix and how to, you know, build and scale, businesses. It's an exciting time. And like I said, I'm glad that I connected with Tom, who connected me with you guys and really like what you're doing at the Players Company. I think there's so much opportunity for growth there. Driving more player, adoption, getting more, connected with the league and business leaders. Like, hope y'all can blow that thing up.
Yeah, nah, man, we definitely appreciate you and appreciate your time. So we're gonna move into the last segment,
Yeah.
and we call this "What Should an Athlete Do?" So it's gonna be some true,
Yeah.
false questions, and then we got some short answer questions.
Yeah.
So I know you said you went to Arizona State,
Yeah.
uh, Sun Devils. Y'all do the little pitchfork and stuff, but there is a rumor. There's a rumor that y'all were the #1 party school in America. Do you believe that? True or false?
Ooh.
Have you ever been to Scottsdale, Tempe? Either of
I've
you?
been to Scottsdale. I have not.
Scottsdale multiple times.
Yeah. So, Scottsdale have everything that Vegas has. So I would say true. I didn't fall into that bucket. I was a 4.0 finance kid, MBA, doing homework on Friday night, and that's
Don't
where I'm
confuse me. Don't
sitting.
try to Nick. Y'all are the worst one. The 4.0s, those are the ones that get the grades. Y'all sneak out there. No, I'm messing with
No, it's wild though. Like, I mean, if y'all been to Scottsdale, like
you. Yeah,
it's
yeah, 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 yeah.
especially in the off season when it's cool, it's 75, it's perfect. It's a more spread out Vegas.
Yeah,
So
nah,
yeah, #1 party school for sure.
for
I love
sure.
it.
For sure.
We might have to make that a poll, Darnell. I don't know. It might be who's
I
out there.
mean, we know it definitely wasn't Notre Dame, though. We know that for sure. So that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
Yeah, for sure not Notre Dame.
for sure not Notre Dame. We know that. Ball State more party school. Sheldon used to come to Ball State when I was there to party with me.
Oh
so,
boy.
so that's to tell you who's the party school. So next question though. What are the top 3 investments you think all football players or athletes should make? When I say investments, that can mean literal like financial investments. It can mean your body. It can like however way your mind takes it. The top 3
Yeah.
investments all athletes should take.
I mean, the #1 thing is invest in yourself, and that's a broad answer, which could probably be, the top 3. But you've got to invest in yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And yeah, there's a lot that goes, into that. I mean, #1 thing, taking care of your body, playing football as long as you can, racking up that cash, saving as much as you can, keeping your mentals in check and making sure, you're okay there because football is the most stressful thing in the world. And then, yeah, like, developing as a person outside of football, I think, man,
I know it's a
saving a
tough
lot of
one.
money. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with real estate in the long term, but like the #1 thing is just investing in yourself. Like, don't, even if it's just, I don't know, you always have that growth mindset. You gotta grow off the field. You gotta elevate the people that are around you because you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with, the most. So it's like being strategic with your time, surrounding yourself with the right people, investing into your education, investing into, getting access and experience. You need to invest your time the right way. I know that's like a all over the place
No,
answer and I'm kind of rambling, but
love it.
it's not all about money when you're young. You've got to invest in yourself because you're going to be, the value that you can, the ROI that you can drive, by investing in yourself far outweighs any financial investment that you can make. So it's really where you invest your time, where you invest your effort, and then just keeping your body and your mind right.
Here it is. Are you a Grant Cardone fan by chance? I feel like you've mentioned growth mindset multiple times. I remember years ago I read a book. I think it was a 10x rule, if I'm not mistaken. I read like, yeah, that's all he was talking about was growth and 10x, whatever you're doing. And I'm like, man, I feel like you might be a fan.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I follow him on Instagram. I think it's been incredible the things that he's built. If you can get him in touch with me, I'd love to talk to him.
Okay.
But yeah, like I just fill myself with positivity, and maybe brainwash myself to think a certain way.
I love it
But
though, man. I'm the same way. Like people think I'm crazy about certain stuff. I still have that. I call it like the childlike ignorance, so to speak. When you're
yeah,
like 5 years old and you think you can go fly, like I believe I can find a way to go do that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think it's great to have as an adult though, because it keeps all possibilities open, and it's better than the latter. It's better than not believing in yourself or not believing you can do this and being negative, because that's not gonna get you
yeah.
nowhere. So I love
It's
it.
the only, the world is so negative and there's so much just BS that's out there that if you're not intentional about, filling yourself with that positivity, being around the right people, filling yourself with the right things, that your brain is automatically going to, just accept the negative, and you're going to be pessimistic and you're not going to see opportunities that are in front of you. So you have to be intentional about just filling yourself with the right things, surround yourself with the right people. Because if you don't, you know, it's just, too much negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, we had a great conversation with you, Nick, but we got to end on a serious note.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is it a Cowboys joke?
Nah, it has nothing to do with the Cowboys, nothing to do
Yeah.
with anything work related. We got a real question that we ask a lot of individuals, and I'm
Yeah.
really interested to hear your point of view. So, do you chase the girl or do you chase the dream?
Ooh. This is a real
Do
question
I
for all athletes need to know that. Say, hold on, take your time, Nick. Think about it.
No,
It's
come
a
on,
real deal question, right? It's serious.
do I taste the girl? Do I taste the dream?
Not the
Chase,
taste, chase.
Chase,
Oh,
Chase.
Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, Chase.
You getting crazy. Talking about taste. That's a whole other, that's a
Yeah,
different
I was like,
podcast.
whoa.
Come to the Porsche podcast and have those conversations. Chase, do you chase the girl? Do you chase the dream?
I don't know why those things have to be mutually, exclusive, because I definitely chased after, my wife, and we're building our dream life now, and I
Me
couldn't do
too.
it without her. Like I said, it's about surrounding yourself with the right people. You got to have the right mindset, but if there's a woman that is, like my wife, that is always going to have my back, ride or die,
Mhm.
uh, and help build that dream together. Because like I said, it's a team thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the answer that y'all are looking for. I just don't see those as two mutually exclusive,
That's a
things. I mean,
beautiful answer.
if
That's
you're
the
gonna go
answer.
chase, temporary, whatever, whether that could be your dream or a woman. But yeah, that's my answer.
Love it.
I love it. I love it.
Yo, do you agree or not?
Well, I said, taste the girl, taste the dream.
Right. He
I'm
said,
like,
I said, whoa. I said, that's a whole nother podcast, Nick. We can't talk about that here. This is Paychecks and Playbooks. We keep it business over here. So
Yeah.
but I love it though. But Nick, man, this has been incredible, man. We appreciate you for taking the time to join us here on the podcast, man. We wish you nothing but success moving forward, and I'm sure we'll be working together here, even outside of this as well. So appreciate you, man. Thanks for all the listeners, man, who are tuning in to another great episode of Paychecks and Playbooks.
Paychecks and Playbooks.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard what he said.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. Changing the narrative one playbook at a time. Again, I'm your co-host Darnell, my guy Sheldon. And make sure y'all tune in every week. Subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're an athlete, man, if you're an entertainer, influencer, come to the Players Company because we changing lives right now, man. Trying for the better. So appreciate y'all. And we out, y'all. Peace.